Well, evening, folks. Welcome back to Three's In. Bubble here. Being a military brat is probably one of the best experiences a kid could have. I was fortunate to have been an Air Force brat. I saw so many things and learned so much growing up. It wasn't until, I suppose years after I left home that I looked back and realized how much I did learn. And I learned all kinds of things. I was telling my wife and her daughter yesterday about attending the movies once at Ramey Air Force Base, Puerto Rico, probably around Christmas time, 1958 or so. At any rate, there was a group of us, upon reflection, the gang of stupid, I think, and we all five went to the movies. There might have been four, it might have been six, but there was a covey of us that went to the movies this one evening, and we got in and we sat down on the front row, just like Bob Euchre, down on the front row. And we got settled in with our pop and popcorn. You know, back then it cost, I think, a quarter to go to the movies. At any rate, so we're all settled in, and just like boys tend to be, or used to be, I guess. We didn't have cell phones, so we weren't preoccupied. We just sat there, and one kid, I don't know who it was, could have been me, I don't know, took a piece of popcorn, flipped it up on the stage. This theater had a stage on it, and then the screen was back behind the stage. And then another kid threw a piece up, and finally it seemed like the thing to do. We were all just tossing little pieces of popcorn up on the stage until this big manager dude shows up. He says, "You five, come with me." And look around like, who, us? Oh yeah, he meant us. He took us up to the front and threw us out. That was it. No warning, none of that stuff. Just threw us out. You ought to know better. No lecture, just threw us out. So I go home, and I get home, and dear old Dad says, "That was a quick movie." And I said, "Well, it kind of was." I said, "I got tossed out." And he said, "What'd you get tossed out for?" And I knew by that time, don't lie to Dad. Just tell him the truth. So I did. I said, "Well, Dad, we were flipping popcorn up on the stage and the manager didn't like it." And he said, "All right." He says, "You go into your room." He says, "Put on your Sunday coat and tie and report back here within 5 minutes." Okay. So I went in, put on my coat and tie, reported back to Dad. He put me in the car, and off we drove to the movie theater. Took me into the theater. He asked to speak to the manager. The manager came out, and I'm thinking, yep, that's the dude. And he made me apologize to that guy. And I did. And I still remember it today. I told him I was sorry. Man, was I sorry. And he said, well, that'd be okay, and so forth like that. And that was all there was to it. Except when we got home, like I mentioned earlier, it was around Christmas time, and my aunt and uncle had come down from Ohio to spend Christmas with us in Puerto Rico. And we were all going out to dinner that night, and everybody had gotten dressed, and everybody was moving toward the door, and Dad says, "You're not going." Well, okay then. He said, "I don't think you know how to behave." He says, "You might just want to stay here at home and think about it." Okay. I wish I had saved that bag of popcorn. There was still some left. Anyway, so Mom came up and she said, "Listen," she says, "under the tree there's a present." She said, "Just go ahead and open it, but put it back when you get done with it." She said, "We'll be a couple, 3 hours." So I said, okay. So I went over and opened it when they left, and turned out to be Huckleberry Finn. Man, did I love that book. I could relate to Huckleberry Finn. I don't think he threw popcorn, but God, did he have a lot of fun. And I had a lot of fun reading about it. I still have that book. We're in the process of moving to Ohio. So I think once I find that book, I'm going to change the image of this video presentation and put Huckleberry Finn on it. But I never held a resentment or a grudge toward Dad for making me apologize. I had done wrong, and looking back, I was wrong in that and shouldn't have done it. And I think that's part of the way you build character in kids is you hold them accountable. So with that being said, this is Bobo base gear stop. Good to see everybody.